Hello everyone. Welcome to my live and to my mom's backyard. Um, if you are watching this, you're probably watching the replay, so thank you for watching the replay. Feel free to share this with your friends, anyone that you know that is dealing with any anxiety, any fear, any emotions that they need to release from their body. We're going to be using the voice to learn how to release some of those emotions that we need to release during this time instead of holding them in our bodies, because holding them in our bodies is not going to do us any good. And at the same time, ignoring our emotions and ignoring the things that we feel and the things that come up is also not healthy, because if we don't process it and allow ourselves to really move through those emotions, then we're not able to actually fully release them. We have to allow them to move through our body, and using your voice allows you to actually feel those emotions and release them at the same time. So if you're hopping on, please say hello. Let me know that you're here. Let me know, just something brief about what you're feeling. You can just say that you're feeling fear, anxiety, anger, depression, whatever it is that you're feeling. Let me know so that I can make sure to include whatever it is that you're feeling, and so that we can all support each other. Because during this time of social distancing and we all know what's going on. During this time, we really need to be connected with each other. We need to find creative ways to connect. And for people who are maybe on their own and don't have people that they're seeing on a regular basis, sometimes our voices don't actually get used because we're by ourselves. We're not seeing people as often as we normally do, and not moving that energy the way that we might otherwise. So if you're single or live on your own or are just not as active as you normally would be with using your voice, using some of these techniques can also be really helpful to keep you in touch with who you are, keep you in touch with your voice. So what we're going to do first is breathe. Whenever you use your voice, the first thing you have to do is breathe. So we're going to start there. So if you're seated, you can stay seated, just sit nice and tall. If you're standing like I am, feel your feet really grounded on the earth. Feel your feet solid. You can imagine just bring your awareness to the bottom of your feet and feel them in your shoes, on the floor, whatever it is that you're standing on. Feel that connection going all the way into the earth. And that should give you a nice solid feeling. That is the foundation for using your voice. And then take a nice deep breath in. If you are feeling particularly anxious, or if you're feeling a lot of emotions that are overwhelming, placing your hands over your heart can be really comforting as well. When you use your voice, you're using your entire body, really. You're using your whole energetic field. You're using, your whole torso. If you're standing, you're using your legs. You're using everything. Hi, Charlie. Oh, and I see Erin is here too. Hi, Erin. So take some nice deep breaths. Whatever comes up, allow yourself to feel it. Don't try to suppress it. Don't ignore it. Allow yourself to feel it, even if it's just for a moment. And when you're breathing out, you can imagine starting to release that a little bit. And as you're breathing, notice whether your breathing is high in your chest, which is indicative of stress. When we're stressed, we tend to breathe really high. Our shoulders go up, and we experience a lot of tension. As you're breathing, imagine that air getting lower and lower in your body until you can feel your belly expanding. Keep your chest nice and lifted, your shoulders down. This gives you the most space to be able to breathe and to use your voice at its fullest capacity. And then as you're breathing, you can start to incorporate your voice just in a nice gentle hum. So it'll sound like this. So you're going from a higher comfortable pitch in your voice down to a lower comfortable place. There's no right or wrong pitches here. This is just for calming your body and using your voice. A downward motion with your voice is very calming. It helps bring your energy down. This is particularly good for anxiety, for fear, things that make us tense and things that make our bodies kind of close up and close in. This is very calming and grounding. If you're feeling sadness or grief or, what's the other one I was going to say? Or depression. If you're feeling those kinds of things, this can actually help you move through those feelings as well, because those are more downward emotions in a lot of ways. When we're depressed, when we're sad, when we're experiencing grief, we have a tendency to have low energy and to be kind of droopy in a way. And so when you're feeling those things, doing this can actually help you move through those emotions, and it may trigger them too. So you may feel that you can feel those emotions a little bit more deeply when you're doing a downward motion. That's not bad. That means that you can process them as you're doing it. So as you're humming, humming is great if you're in an apartment because then it's not too loud. But if you really want to feel that stuff and move it out of your body, you can also use your voice more fully if you have the space to do that. The easiest way to do it is on an ah sound, so on an ah vowel. And allow yourself to feel whatever it is that is coming up, and allow you that feeling to move through you and then out with your voice. And keep in mind, I'm a soprano, so you may not start as high as I do. That's totally fine. You can start lower. You can even just keep it lower. Whatever is comfortable for you and your voice, that's what you want to do here. Now, let's say that you want to kind of bring your energy back up again. Let's say you're calm, you're feeling a bit more centered, and you may start to feel that already right now, that you're starting to feel all of that frenetic energy that you might be feeling kind of coming back into yourself and calming down and kind of getting back to the center. Back into your heart, feeling more calmness there. You can do this as many times as you want to kind of bring that calmness back into your body. And you can always just take a breath, allow it to be audible. That can also just kind of release a lot at one time. But if you want to bring your energy back up again, if you want to kind of, let's say that you have been feeling really down and depressed, you've been feeling inert, and you want to bring your energy up, then what we do is basically flip it. We do a different vocal exercise. So we're going from the bottom up instead. So the vowel sound that works well for this one is an O sound, nice round O. Oh, and you can sail over the top like I did. That makes it a little easier in case you accidentally go a little high. Your voice might be a little lower and lower, but bringing that up, that brings you back up. That brings up the emotions that we feel that are centered. Happiness, excitement, energy, motivation. If you need those things, then doing an upward vocal exercise is going to be really helpful. So again, oh. And that those upward emotions, when we feel happy, when we feel excited, we also get that upward feeling. So that's why this helps if you're experiencing a feeling that's more downward. And if you are feeling something like anxiety or anger in particular, if you're feeling angry about something, doing this can be really helpful to move that anger and that intense emotion that has a lot of energy behind it. This can help move that through as well. So like, let's say I was feeling angry about something. The quality of the sound may sound different than what I'm demonstrating. So it might sound something more like this. Oh, or you could just let it sail up over the top. Oh, and just let it out. You can play around with this as much as you want to make it work for you. And then if you feel like you want to bring yourself, you've processed some emotions, you've gotten some things out using your voice, and you want to bring yourself back to your center again, then you can just, if you've been processing anxiety or anger or fear, and you've been doing those upward motions, then bring yourself back down. Bring yourself back to that center. Let's say you've been processing some of those downward emotions, the grief, sadness, depression, whatever it is that you're feeling there. If you've been processing that, you can bring it back up, and you can also use a hum here too. And again, putting your hands on your heart can give you that sense of being present with yourself. Being, especially if you're alone or if you're not able to really be in a lot of contact with the people that you are close to. Putting your hands on your heart can be kind of like a little bit of a self-hug. And I think a lot of us need that these days. So again, placing your hands on your heart, feeling connected to yourself. You can close your eyes. And just feel yourself coming back to center, back into the core of who you are. There's been so much instability with everything going on that we can feel like we've become disconnected from who we are. And so using these vocal exercises to process all of that, to process whatever it is you're feeling, and then bring yourself back to center. And these, just as a side note, this is not a replacement for therapy or medication or anything else that you need. These are just tools to help, tools to work through things. And if you're not using your voice as much as you normally do, and you're not expressing yourself vocally in the ways that you normally do, this can be a way to help process some of that on your own. So just to recap, breathing, feeling nice and solid in how you're standing, that's the key. Make sure you're breathing nice and low in your body. That gives you the most air to work with. That gives you the most power under your voice to work with. And then using upward motions, upward vocal sounds, I should say. You can also use your hands to gesture to help move even more energy through you as well. But upward sounds are to process fear, anxiety, and forgot the other one, but things that make you feel tense. Anger, that was the other one. So fear, anxiety, and anger, use upward motions to process them, to move through them, and then downward sounds to ground yourself back, to calm yourself back down. Downward motions or downward vocal exercises to process sadness, grief, depression, and then upward motions to counterbalance that. So upward vocal sounds to counterbalance the downward feeling emotions. So basically whatever you're feeling, if it feels down, you can process it going down and then bring yourself back to balance by doing the opposite. And then whatever you're doing, make sure to bring your energy back in, back to center. Use your hands, use your body while you're doing it. You can move, you can rock back and forth if you need to. Whatever it is that you need, pay attention to your body. This will bring you back into your body so that you can process, so that you can embody your own healing, and start to really feel grounded again, because that's ultimately the goal, to feel grounded and to keep our nervous systems calm. The more we can move through emotions and release them, the more our immune systems are going to be healthy, because our nervous systems aren't freaking out. So I hope this was helpful. If this was helpful to you, please let me know. Let me know how it feels for you to do these exercises. I will be keeping this up. So feel free to share it with people who you know that may need it. And if you ever want to do some additional work with me, I am here. I'm getting creative with how I'm doing things and how I'm working with people as well. I'm going to be having some workshops where we'll go a lot more in depth into how to use the voice if you want to join me for those. So I'll keep you updated. But please let me know how this works out for you. Let me know if it's helpful, and please share with anybody that you feel could use it, which I know a lot of us can these days. So I hope you are all well. Please let me know how you're doing. Let me know what emotions you've been processing, and let me know if any of these are helpful. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.